Hello, this program will be the Pythagorean theorem using Python. All right, so I've already made a few functions. First of all, from math, we import square root. Believe it or not, that's all we need from math for this program. So my first function is the print menu. We have three choices for the user to choose from. We can either solve for A, solve for B, or C. So C would be the hypotenuse always, and A and B would be the other two sides. And then I have functions for getting A, B, and C. So these are all user inputs that we get, and these inputs are always going to be positive numbers. That's what this while loop does. We restrict the user to only getting positive because the sides of a triangle are always positive, the lengths. All right, and then we have the main function here. This is for the traffic and flow of the program. Everything is set. If the user, for example, chooses option 1 from the print menu up here, option 1 here, and then so we come down here. If they choose that, then we ask them to enter B and C. So we call those functions for those. And then obviously if C has to be greater than A and B, C has to be greater than A and B. In this case, we only get B, so that's while loop does there. And this is the rest of the main function. It follows the same procedure. If they input A, for example, we have a while loop that C has to be greater than A. So that's what it is. So we get inputs for A and C. All right. So if you have any questions or if you have any problems, like you didn't understand them, how I build main, refer to my other videos about how I do that. I'm not going to focus on that here. The main focus of this video will be these three functions here. The first function is called calculate A given BC. So the user will input B and C, and then we will calculate A based on those two inputs. So that's for the option 1. Notice that B and C are going to be user inputs, and then we will call in this else command, we will call the calculate A given BC function. It'll calculate A and print it, and then set flag to false, and we exit the program. Okay, let me make sure, yes. So we can keep running the code. That's also there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to my def calculate A given BC function. So then A equals square root of C squared minus B squared. That's it. This is strictly from Pythagorean theorem that states A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So if you want to find A, we take the square root of C squared minus B squared. Our next line would be just a blank line like that, and then we can print what A is. So print, say, A equals, and I'm going to round to decimal places. So percent point 2f, and then we get out of there, percent A. So that's how we do the first function. So I'm going to copy and paste this for the other two functions because it's going to be very similar. We're going to make some basic changes, some small changes to the other two functions. So in this function, given AC, we're going to calculate B. And this is going to be minus A squared. Because we are taking A and C as parameters, so that's what we're going to be calculating. That's how functions work. And then so B equals here B. And then to calculate C, given AB, this is going to be C equals square root of A squared plus B squared. So this is going to be, I just need to change the C to A and then plus B squared. So we're going to print C, and then this is C. All right. So that's it. That's all we need to do to build a Pythagorean theorem program. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check with Math is Fun, and we're going to try some examples and see how our program is doing. So let's do this first example here. We're going to solve for C. We've been given A and B. Assume A is 5 and B is 12. So we're going to run our program. So let's solve for C. We're going to choose option 3. A is 5, B is 12. So it says C is 13, 13.00 because I round to 2 decimal places. So let's keep running our code. I'm going to choose N for no. So let's see. We can do another example for Math is Fun. Let's do this example. We can solve for B. We know A and C here. Let's run our code again. So solve for B would be option 2. A was 9, and then C is 15. So it says B is 12. Let's double check. B is 12. So we got that correct. Let's do an example to solve for the smallest side. This example, it says yes, it is a right triangle, so we can safely run our program and enter these numbers since this is the correct right triangle. Notice that Pythagorean theorem only works for right triangles. It has to be a right triangle. Otherwise, we would have to use something else like law of sines or law of cosines. So I'm going to choose no. Let's choose option 1. So we're going to solve for the smallest side. And then let me see what B and C are. So B is going to be 24 and C is 26. 24. The hypotenuse is 26. So A is going to be 10. And let me just double check that. Yes, A is 10 right there. Okay. So let's run our program to check exception handling also. So I'm going to choose no, choose option 1 to 3. I'm going to choose 5. It's not one of the options. Choose a string. That's not one of the options. Choose number 1, enter B. Let's enter a G. That's not a number. It says please enter a number. -1. It says input must be positive. So when we enter, say, 4, and then the hypotenuse is 5, it says the smallest side is 3. And I'm going to exit the program. All right, so that's how we create a Pythagorean theorem using Python. Thanks for watching.